Alright YouTube, this is El Camino Guide 2005, and I have a rather quick update on my El Camino project. Guess what? We're doing the rear main seal. That sound you hear is the oil draining out. Oh, that nasty black oil, look at that. Oil was clean when I first looked at this thing, but I changed the oil twice. Well, actually once, I only changed it once. I don't know why it's so dirty. I hope that's not a bad sign. If I can maneuver around the oil pan here without knocking myself silly. If you can look carefully, you'll see oil everywhere. Now, what reinforces our theory of it being the rear main seal is most of the oil is contributed on the oil pan itself. Now, I don't know this off the top of my head, but I don't believe that oil would be leaking if the engine wasn't running, if it wasn't the rear main seal. If it wasn't the rear main seal, it was just dripping, I would assume it's the oil pan. But considering the fact that it's, I don't know how well you can see all that fresh oil there, it sure looks like the rear main seal to me. Plus all this oil back here that's been all over the place, all up in here, all over the distributor, yeah, the starter. Anyway, we are doing the rear main seal after all. It's not as hard as we thought it was going to be. Well, it's not as hard as I thought it was going to be. My dad knew it wasn't that difficult. He just didn't want to do it. But that's okay. You know, that's okay. We decided that putting an engine in here is just going to take too much time, and we ain't got the money for it anyway. So, we're just going to put a rear main seal in here, and I'm going to clean under here as best I can. I'm going to clean this oil pan once we get it off. For those who don't know, you have to remove the oil pan to get to the rear main seal, which is up in there. I just showed it to you a second ago. We're going to let this drain overnight because we don't need any oil in it right now. This pan's got to be, when we drop it, we don't want oil dumping all over our face. So what you got to do is you put a, let me get over there, hang on. You put, if you can, first off you got to remove or take the bolts out of the motor mounts, which well, you know, they're around here somewhere. I'll show them to you some other time. You take the bolts of the motor mounts, you push, you put a, I don't know if you put one here. Sorry, I'm looking for my hand. There it is. I guess you put something, a piece of wood here or something, and you push up on here with a jack. It tilts the motor back just enough to give you more room back here to get to the rear main seal, which, there it is. Well, that's not it particular, but that's where it is. That spot. Look at that fresh oil on there. And I guarantee you, if I didn't drain the oil and I started the engine and got under here, it would be dripping right there. Hopefully that's it, 'cause I really don't want to have to try to find an oil leak on this thing. It is so nasty. Look at all the cobwebs and spiderwebs all over everything in here. Once we get this thing put back together, I would like to go ahead and clean it all, but I don't think I'm going to get that far. I'm not going to get a chance to get it all clean. Please forgive me for the background noise and the radio over there. I can't get up to right now to turn it off. But in any case, it's nice little thing. But give me a second to get out from under here, and I will explain a little bit more about what we're going to do and what we found out. Alright, now that I'm out from under the car, I would like to say this first. I have to give a shout out to Jeff Bradshaw for giving me the idea. He's kind of mentioned in a couple of my other videos that part of the rough running engine is probably due to a vacuum leak. Turns out he was exactly right. As much as a pain in the butt as it was to try to get this vacuum lines all hooked up correctly, we finally figured it out. 2 lines had been crossed and 1 line wasn't even hooked up in the right place at all. Got all that hooked up. Also, we adjusted the carburetor. Carburetor needed just a little bit of adjustment. Just the idle screws. And now it purrs like a kitten. Oh, the reason all this stuff is missing, like the upper radiator shroud and why the radiator cap's off and the air cleaner's gone, is because when you when you do the rear main seal without removing the transmission, you have to jack the front of the engine up. And we don't want to crush the radiator. I mean, we don't want to crush the distributor. Or the air cleaner, or possibly crack the radiator shroud. So we're going to take all that off, which is no big deal. It's right there. Anyway, also, one other thing, I got a new one of these. with rubber hoses. The old one was hard as a rock, and a while back when we were trying to figure out what was wrong with the engine, it fell off and fell down here and all the belts, and it went right underneath that pulley down there and pulled all the belts off the engine. Luckily we didn't hurt them. We stretched one because it kind of squeaks a little bit, but that's okay. It's not going to matter too much. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, in any case, we have not given up. We just kind of sat there and said, you know what, that engine thing has got to be something we're missing. Then I kind of mentioned to my dad, I said, I know it's a pain in the butt, but do you think it might possibly have something to do with the vacuum lines? And he says, well, I guess we can look. So yesterday, or the day before yesterday, we looked, and sure enough, got those lines put in the right place. And we were so happy with that, we decided, you know what, we'll do the rear main seal. And it's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, so no big deal. We'll get it done. We're going to try it tomorrow, and once we finish it, well, I won't be able to show you much because we'll probably be tired out of our wit, but the next day after that, I will show you After Effects. So, basically, that's just going to allow me to get back to work on this thing. I still got to get the radio fixed, installed. I got to get the window fixed. Oh, did I mention the window yet? I don't know if I did. Two things. One, I bought two of these. These are window stabilizers. This one itself is no good because you can see the foam I put on there. Sorry, I'm going to get the camera to focus. I put the foam on there because I thought it would work. Turns out it doesn't work as good as this stuff here. So, also, you can see it. Where is it? I can't see. Where is it? No, it's just really dark. Hang on. Like this. There you go. There it is. No, that's not it. Where is it? No, that is it. It just looks weird. I wonder I can find where the lens, the camera is. There it is. Okay, that thing right there is called the window. I guess it's called the door window guide, window door guide. I don't know. Anyway, as you can see, how it's got that little curve. Where you at there? Right there at the tip of my finger. It's supposed to curve all the way over here to that side. But it broke off being really old and brittle. Being on the car for probably 30 years. So I bought two of those, one for this side and one for the passenger side whenever it breaks. And of course two of those stabilizers. Whoops. And the reason for that is this window won't shut with the window. The door won't shut with the window up all the way. That's why there's a nasty body line there. But our neighbor told us exactly what's wrong with it because he's worked on these cars before, and he said he'll fix it for us if we buy it in the parts. So we're getting the parts, and we'll get this gap fixed here so it'll be, see, it's this part is out further away than this, so it's like doop, doop, and the huge gap is really disturbing. I don't like the gap. We'll have to adjust quite a bit of things on it, but that's okay. Make it look a little better. It's not going to look really good because, well, these old cars never were put together correctly to begin with. But that's okay. It'll look as good as I can get it. Anyway, I've been talking enough time. That's an update. Fear not, we have not given up. We have decided, to heck with it, we're going to do it. And we're going to do it. So there. So, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. I'm El Camino Guy 2005. Out.